All right, everyone. Can I have your attention, please? Sergeant. There we go. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Lavaca County Commissioners Court. Today is March the 25th. It's Tuesday for a regular edition of Commissioners Court. And this is our 10 a.m. regular edition of Commissioners Court. And we will start with a confirmation of roll call. Precinct 1.
Here.
Precinct 2.
Here.
Precinct 3.
Present.
Precinct 4.
Present.
And the judge is here, so let the record reflect that all 5 of us are here, present, and accounted for. And with that, if you'll stand for our invocation and our pledges. Our most Heavenly Father, thank you for this day in Lavaca County. Thank you for being in the great state of Texas and all that's going on in Austin, the capital day. Just, Lord, we just ask that you be with our legislatures as they make decisions for us and as we make decisions for our county here today. Lord, we just ask for your continued blessings over this court and all that we do. And we ask for a special blessing of the much-needed rainfall for our county, Lord, and for the whole region and half of the state of Texas is in dire needs of some rain. So we ask for all these blessings in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Now our pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right, thank you very much. Whether you're joining us live or here in person, we thank you for attending or participating in your county government. We have a courtroom full of people here today, standing room only. We've got a lot to cover, and it's probably going to take us a full bit of 2 hours, I would think. So this is going to be one of our largest agendas of the year. With that, do we have any announcements or public comments? I've received one from Mr. Paul Yammer, and I think you want to defer to number 8. Where's Paul? You want to defer to the agenda item? Okay. Yes. All right. So we have one public comment. That'll be on agenda 8. Anything else from the court? The only thing I want to say publicly before we get started is we've got a lot on our plate today. We're going to probably have at least 2. There's possibility of a 3rd executive session today, closed session today. We've got various subject matters we're going to discuss that we have to discuss. So just bear with us as we go through. I'm also toying with some things on the agenda of having it in discussions with some other judges around the state, having it where we have, first of all, we can have an executive session anytime that we call one, want one, but we have to declare why we're going to executive session, what code we're going under. So I did, on number 31, I added some sections, some likely sections that we could call at any time, at any time of the year, at any meeting for executive session. So you'll see today as we have an executive session, we'll call out that number, what we're going into executive session for. So we have that on there. Subsequent agenda items, I want to consolidate that to a paragraph that's maybe more digestible, that we just leave it on our agenda item perpetual. So we can leave executive sessions on it perpetually, but when we go into executive session, we have to declare why we're going to executive session, under what statute. So I hope that's clear. That make sense? So with that, I hate to tell you this, but we're going to go into executive session right off the bat because we do have an attorney that came from out of town to meet with us. So we want to do that in executive session. So do I have a motion to move into executive session to discuss per section 551.071 consultation with attorney?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Okay. Motion made by precinct 3. Second by precinct 4. Any other discussion or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we are executive session. That time is 10:04. Our microphones will go off at this time. Then I'm going to 4. All right. All right, take care of stuff. 1 second. Okay. All right, we have, sorry, first of all, we apologize for the delays. Again, we've got a lot of stuff on our agenda. We've been asked, we're going to move a couple things around just for some time constraints. Items number 14 and 15, we're going to discuss that so some people can get back to work. So we're going to, as presiding judge, I have the discretion to move some items around. So we're going to go with item number 14. 1 second, let me get situated. Item number 14, and that will be found on the bench. Discuss and approve proclamation declaring the month of April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month. And if you would, state your name for the court.
Good morning. I'm Deanne Novosad, and I'm the Executive Director of Norma's House.
Hi, good morning. I'm Cynthia Ramirez, Community Liaison for the East Region of SGRC Texas Belong.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kimberly Wilson, President of Lavaca County Child Welfare Board.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience today.
Thank you. So April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and we will ask you, Judge and County Commissioners, to sign a proclamation stating that April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. In 2024, there were approximately 293,950 Texas children reported as victims of neglect or abuse, and 189 children were Lavaca County children designated victims, which is 189 too many.
Yep.
And as we know, as we work with children, that is probably only a tip of the iceberg, as there are more children than we know about that could benefit from our services. So we like to make the public aware that child abuse is a thing, and it takes the whole community to prevent it. And so with your proclamation agreement, we'll let the community know that we all are fighting to keep our children and our community safe.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time and patience and for your attention to this matter. 189 is 189 too many, is exactly right. I'm going to read that proclamation that you presented here. So this is a proclamation from Lavaca County, whereas in fiscal year 2024, approximately 293,950 Texas children were reported as victims of abuse or neglect. In Lavaca County, 189 children were designated victims of abuse or neglect. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires action from the entire community. Whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships among agencies, schools, religious organizations, law enforcement agencies, youth service organizations, and the business community. And whereas everyone in the community should become more aware of child abuse prevention and consider helping parents raise their children in a safe, strong, nurturing environment. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. So now therefore, I, Keith Mudd, County Judge of Lavaca County, and in such capacity, I do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Lavaca County. Do I hear a motion?
Also move. Second.
Motion made by Precinct 2, second by Precinct 1 to approve the proclamation declaring the month of April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month. Do I hear any questions or comments?
Thank y'all ladies for what y'all do.
We appreciate you very much. Thank you very much.
And as you know, it does take a community. We have several representatives from the agencies that we work with. We call them our MDT members. And if you will approve, we would like to take a picture with you, with our MDT members and
Let me
representatives.
take a motion here. I vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion and proclamation is approved, and we will be glad to take a picture.
Okay.
So if you want to come forward,
Thank you. We have a bunch.
have a bunch. All right.
Yeah.
Some of y'all can come back here.
Who's taking the picture? Can you send it to me? You want to go to the back row?
Y'all can come back here. And we can, come on.
Let me put this chair back behind there, maybe we can, there, come over this way there.
You good?
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We good? All right.
All right.
Thank you all very much. Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Everybody smiling.
Kipper, I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. I believe that wiped out half the courthouse. All right, we're going to go ahead and discuss item number 15 as well.
Silence, please.
15?
Yes, item number 15, discuss and approve proclamation declaring the month of April 2025 as Autism Acceptance Month. That's found on page 34. I got to find my page. You want to state your name for the court, please?
My name is Destiny Siptak. I'm the Executive Director for Turtle Wing Foundation.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to find my page.
No, you're okay. I'll just say thank you for allowing me to be here and considering this proclamation. A big part of our mission, beyond funding services for kiddos with special needs and learning challenges, is advocating and creating a community of inclusion. And the way we're able to do that, a big step, is by partnering with our local counties to recognize April as Autism Acceptance Month, to make sure that we're providing inclusion for not only autism, but all types of learning challenges that are prevalent in our communities. So thank you.
I also understand it's a hot topic in Washington as well.
Yes.
We're trying to get a grip on why is autism rising
Yes,
in the United
yes.
States, which is interesting. So, but thanks for the work that you do. I'm going to read this proclamation. Whereas Turtle Wing Foundation was founded in 2011 by Deanne Hooper in memory of her son Jackson Allen Hooper, who passed away on April 5th, 2011, of a viral-like syndrome of unknown origin. Jackson was diagnosed with high-functioning autism at the age of 6, and due to various academic and social skills, supplemental services, was able to find success as an elementary student. Inspired by his life, Turtle Wing received its 501c3 status on September 12, 2012. Whereas the mission of Turtle Wing Foundation is to help individuals with learning challenges in rural areas achieve their full potential by providing access to a shared network of emotional, educational, and therapeutic resources. Turtle Wing programming strives to help children grow wings and fly. Whereas the service area of Turtle Wing Foundation is Fayette, Lavaca, Colorado, and surrounding counties, with over 350 children presently receiving direct services due to the Turtle Wing programming. Key programming areas for Turtle Wing includes early intervention, supplemental services, and community education and advocacy. Whereas April is Autism Acceptance Month, autism is a general term used to describe a group of complex developmental brain disorders, autism spectrum disorders, caused by a combination of genes and environmental influences. These disorders are characterized in varying degrees by communication difficulties, social behavioral challenges, and repetitive behaviors. An estimated 1 in 44 children in the U.S. is on the autism spectrum. That's pretty phenomenal. Whereas over a quarter century ago, the Autism Society launched a nationwide effort to promote autism awareness, inclusion, and self-determination for all, and assure that each person with ASD is provided the opportunity to achieve the highest possible quality of life. Whereas this year we want to go beyond simply promoting autism acceptance to encouraging friends and collaborators to become partners and movement toward acceptance and appreciation, to embrace a new perspective, to ensure acceptance and inclusion in schools and communities that result in true appreciation of the unique aspects of all people, and to get one step closer to a society where those with ASDs are truly valued for their unique talents and gifts. Now therefore, I, Keith Mudd, Judge of Lavaca County, Texas, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Autism Acceptance Month. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve. So, second that?
Motion made by Precinct 4, seconded by Precinct 3, to approve a proclamation declaring the month of April 2025 as Autism Acceptance Month. Any other questions or comments? Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you for being here
Thank you
today.
guys so much.
We appreciate it. All right. Again, we are going to be under time crunch. We're going to go back now to item number 2. Item number 2, discuss and approve Bimrose Acres subdivision plat. That's out of Precinct 2, found on page 1 through 11.
Yes, Your Honor and Honorable Court, this does come out of Precinct 2. This is west of Moulton off of 532. It is a paved road. It is submitted here by Ryan Pope. There are 8 lots associated with this subdivision. It does qualify as a subdivision and is all of the lots that are associated with this are off of County Road 291. And so these have been, the plat has been filed, everything it seems to be in order, and so I move that we approve Benrose subdivision plat for final approval.
Okay, motion made by Precinct 2. Second. Second by Precinct 1. So motion made by Precinct 2, second by Precinct 1 to approve the Bimrose Acres subdivision plat, found on page 1 through 11. Any other questions or comments? The only comment I had was those are pretty skinny lots. I think that was just strange how they're allocated. I don't know if that's going to cause problems down the road or not, but I think it meets our criteria. There's nothing really we can say or do.
Yeah, and I concur with that.
It's
That, finding, because it is, it's narrow, they're very long, very narrow.
very long, very narrow.
But it does meet our subdivision requirements.
Okay.
So,
All right.
and it looks like, we Judge, if we can continue to get ahead of the curve here, because we're gonna see development, and we're gonna see property, being used for development, and so it behooves us, the majority of it that is in the county, it behooves us to be able to have the proper structure to accommodate that, and be sure that what's there is going to be self-sustaining and will provide the necessary framework for people who want to build.
All right. All right, so I had a motion made by Precinct 2, second by Precinct 1. Any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Item number 3, discuss and approve the burn ban status and ratify the judge's executive order that was made last week. Do we have a rating today, 10 o'clock? 5:51. We're back to 5:51, okay. Chief Tim Decker reports we are back at 5:51. We were at 5:50 on Sunday. We dropped 4 points. On Monday, we got a little rain came through the area, but we're back to 5:51, so it's going up again. So I'm going to ask for a motion to ratify that.
I'll make a motion to approve the burn ban status.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 4 to approve the burn ban status and ratify the judge's executive order that was made last week. Any other discussion or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. We are still in a burn ban. And that burn ban is good for, I think, 90 days without intervention from us, now that you guys have ratified it. But hopefully we'll get that burn ban out, get some rains coming. Item number 4, discuss and approve the telecommunications update brought to you by our EMS Director and Chair of the Telecommunications Committee. His name is Chief Michael Furr.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for having me. So we met last week. What we did is we started calling our telecommunications committee meetings once a quarter. I put that schedule out earlier in the year, and this was the first one for the year. Quite a few things came out of it, so I just want to give you guys a broad spectrum update real quick of the things that are happening in the Communications Committee meeting. So number one here, the radio project is entering its last phase. Will be completed by June with adding of the 4th talk channel in the system. If you guys remember, we came back to Commissioners Court about a couple months ago, a month and a half ago, talked about this grant that we were applicable for. The 4th channel, Yoakum PD, Yoakum Fire, is now talking on our system as well. So that installation should begin before too long. Myself and Mike Wick will be getting with Austin, Waller, and Washington counties in the next month or so to trade talk groups and program radios back and forth. They are coming down to our area a little more often, and us vice versa, so it only makes sense for us to trade those types of things so we have better interoperability. We're also going to be going to Harris County, so we can go to Harris County Radio. I know Mr. Wick wants to be able to figure out a few things in the back end of the console, and I need to get a little bit of work done there, so we're just going to kind of 2 birds with 1 stone on that, head up there together for the day and get that stuff taken care of. It appears also that the last amount of flashes, I know this may not mean a lot of things to you, but it's the programming for the radios that we have. We did have 1 round that was not in the last delivery. They should be here within the next few weeks. Myself, Chief Decker, and Mr. Wick will get out there and get those put into all the radios, and we will verify and touch the majority of the radios out in the field one more time in that process. So the next thing that the Communications Committee talked about was actually a multifaceted different topics, and it was basically what came out of it is a proposed combination EMS/Emergency Operations Center / Communications Department or Dispatch Department building. And I'm going to go through a few things here and talk to you about what came out of this meeting when it comes to EMS, when it comes to emergency management, when it comes to dispatch. So EMS, talk about EMS. EMS is outgrowing right now our current location here in Hallettsville. And as you guys know, it's located at 906 North Texana, and the intersection of Russell Street and Texana is a very dangerous intersection, especially when we're trying to exit there and go on emergency calls. Our ambulances will really be stuck there for 30, 45 seconds waiting on traffic to come by with our lights and signs on, and it's just really hard to see at that intersection. And that's nothing new. That's been going on for a very long time at that intersection. And our square footage is also shrinking with the possibility of our run numbers going up over time from year to year. We may have to add a 4th truck before too long. That's one thing that we have been talking about. We've been tracking all kinds of different data, and if we have to staff a 4th truck for the county, our square footage is essentially gone. And not just for personnel, but for vehicles and assets as well. I put on here too, we currently have had a total of 103 status zeros. And when I say status 0, I've talked a little bit about that before, but that means not one ambulance is available, not one Lavaca County ambulance is available to the citizens at that time. And we've been tracking that data, and since the beginning of 2024, that's happened 103 times. So when all 3 ambulances are assigned to a call, our shift supervisor gets on our application, presses a button and says status 0, and that's how we track. That may happen for a minute and a half. That may happen for 45 minutes. Now, we do have outside assets that come and help, right? Fayette County, Colorado County, Yoakum Fire, and we help them as well, but we wouldn't have an accurate way to track that unless we did it ourselves. So, and EMS lacks the office space. Currently, our training captain is positioned in a common area in the building in between myself and Chief Decker's office. And our administrative assistant is located in the converted 2-car garage in the building as well. I think you guys have been in there before, but she makes do, but it is a converted 2-car garage, and we're lacking space when it comes to that as well. And lastly, if we were to do any remodels, and one thing I did want to mention, if we were to do any remodels to the building, especially the building up front where administration is at, we would have to come up to code compliance, ADA compliance and all that stuff, which at this time the building's not. But the second that we enter into, remodeling, we would have to come up to code and make that happen. The thought from the committee is that if we do repurpose, or if we do figure out a way to build a 3-in-1 type building, 3 departments in 1 type building, that we would be able to repurpose these other 2 facilities that we have that we currently are housed in. The EMS station where the crew quarters are in the back, and the administration up front could be repurposed for things like possibly county maintenance or county IT, where some of these folks are in offices in the basement. That ultimately frees up space in the courthouse, and it's just kind of a domino effect, if you will, of freeing up some of that space. And lastly, for EMS especially, the parking of our assets is becoming a real problem. The biggest problem that we have is, say we take some ambulances out of service, which you can drive by day to day. The ambulances are out of service, we're waiting to put them on gov deals, and they sit there, and they take up spots, okay? So we have 3 of them there right now. We also have a brand new ambulance chassis that's parked outside waiting for us to be in line to get our remount. That takes 6 months or so, depending on their schedule. So those are, excuse me, 4 and 5 parking spots right there that are already taken up. That doesn't include the 4 to 5 people that shift change with their vehicles that come, and you can see we quickly run out of parking space. Excuse me.
What about those 2 that are sitting on my place over there? They're not.
I don't have any more parking space.
Mike, if you need to, I have some room at China.
Okay.
You could stay somewhere.
Where do you have room?
All
I
right.
was gonna say too, just for temporary purposes.
Sure.
Once you're done, I'm sure the sheriff's department over there was parking.
Yeah, we've got
That way
room.
you can give you more room for
Yeah.
your employees, have more employee parking.
Yes, sir. Talk about just talk about emergency management and EOC, Emergency Operations Center. For those who aren't familiar with the EOC, an EOC is basically a place where county, city, local government officials get together in the time of disaster, okay? Say we have a flood, say we have hurricane, tornado, whatever comes through, that's where your EMS, your fire, your county judges, your commissioners, your city councilmen, the mayors, they all come to one specific place called an EOC, and they make those decisions on behalf of their constituents and the outside resources that need to come in, so on and so forth. Well, our designated EOC at the time right now is the training, would be considered the training room at the sheriff's office, okay? That training room is also being used alternatively right now because of office space and all kinds of other space things that they got going on over there. So, and that room hasn't specifically been wired or been, ran with proper IT things to run a proper emergency management or emergency operations center. So in all technicality, the county really doesn't have a proper EOC right now if something happened. Added to that, Shiner Volunteer Fire Department, which I'm a member of as well, we finally were able to break ground on our new facility in Shiner. This has been a long hill to climb, and we're there. We've been in talks as well with Chief Petru, City of Shiner, about possibly making that an alternative, one of these days, an alternative EOC if need be. Therefore, if we did get an EOC and something happened to it, or maybe we had an IT failure and the City of Shiners is still up and going, we would be able to relocate to there. It's always good to have good backup plans when it comes to that kind of thing as well. And we've also discussed, I think we've discussed in court before too, but we're looking for grants for a mobile emergency operations center as well. These things can be housed in 16-foot trailers, cargo trailers. They can be, some people have converted old RVs and made them into, that's where you put all the radios, and you can go into the field if we have a large wildfire or something like that, and county and local officials can gather in that if it's a big, long event. So, and then lastly, talking about the sheriff's office, I don't think it's not a secret at all. It hasn't been a secret for years that they're just out of space. I think the building was built 20 years ago, 22 years ago, somewhere in there. And as time goes on, I've seen one of their investigators are operating out of an office that's almost the size of a good mop closet. And so they're in need of space. They're looking for it. That's no secret. But specifically communications and dispatch. Where the dispatchers are located at the sheriff's office is quickly being overgrown because of IT. As a matter of fact, right now we're having to talk about expanding the small IT closet as it is. We're going to have to expand that IT closet into the communications or the dispatch office to be able to house the IT equipment for the cameras that are going in over there as well. So that takes away from some of the square footage that they already don't have. Right now, the telecommunications officer supervisor or the dispatch supervisor, they don't have an office. And that kind of, to me, it raises a red flag a little bit, because especially if you have an HR issue with an employee, or quite frankly, you just need privacy to do supervisory work, or you need a private space to talk to an employee of yours, there is no proper space to do that for that supervisor. So basically, they're working 12-hour shifts, right, the dispatchers, and we're doing good right now. I think we're almost a full staff, so we almost have it 2 on every day, AM and PM. And I did some rough math, and basically the entire dispatch office is 120 square feet. So that gives each dispatcher 60 square feet to operate out of in 12 hours. That's a lot to ask of somebody operating in a space that big right there, all right, 6 by 10. And lastly, I say lastly, but one of the things too is they don't have any space to expand as far as documentation retainment, filing cabinets, right, personnel files, storage of hard copy warrants, things like that. They can't expand anymore. I mean, it is literally busting at the seams. And during a high traffic event, and I'll give an example, a head-on collision on Highway 77. We're going to have multiple people calling in 911 at one time. Multiple people, right? And then they're also trying to dispatch assets such as law enforcement, fire, EMS out there. That creates a lot of radio traffic. In 60 square feet, when you sit by one another, there is no buffer in between the microphones and the telephone, okay? So one dispatcher could be coordinating fire, EMS, or talking to somebody who called 911. The other dispatcher is trying to do the same thing. You can see where information may get crossed, because if a microphone is keyed and she's talking to a caller on the phone, it's hard for us to distinguish exactly what's going on and who they may be talking to, and it could be confusing to the caller as well. And so again, just going to that, if we had an opportunity to combine and move communications, maybe with emergency management and EMS, we would be able to free up more space in the sheriff's office to where they would be able to create more offices for the staff that they need to be able to properly function comfortably. And if we ended up coming to a decision one of these days on this, that we would not be the only people who have ever done this. There's a lot of counties, a lot of cities out there who have combined these types of things and moved them to a separate location. And it just kind of, I guess to the committee it makes sense, because we can accomplish 3 goals out of 1. We can do 3 things with one project. What I think the last thing that really came out of it is, you know, it's not for today, but I'm hoping that some of this information can be soaked up a little bit, and that possibly Commissioners Court can think about maybe making a building committee, so the committee itself can maybe go and get some more of these detailed information from the different departments, can really do some research as far as what's required IT-wise, maybe look at some similar projects that are around that we know of as well, and be able to see these things in real life and be able to come back and report as a building committee what our findings are and possibly move forward one way or another. But really, that's what the Communications Committee's last meeting was about. Radio system is up and going well. This has just been a topic that's kind of been briefly talked about for a little while now, and then it really just kind of consumed this last meeting about what it is the Communication Committee notices from all these different departments, how we could possibly better them all 3 at one time. And so it was just my duty to come back and report.
Thank you for the report.
Thank you, Michael.
I do think these commissioners probably have heard this over the last couple of years, of where we're heading and the crunches we're having with not only the sheriff's department itself, the jail, overcrowding issues. Now we're looking at EMS. You didn't talk about possible of another location, EMS location being a Shiner on the table. I don't know, have we made any progress with the city, talking with the city?
No, I'm going to go talk to them in another week or so.
All right.
One thing I did forget to mention too is at the very end of my note, I apologize, is part of this plan or what we were talking about in the committee with this building is where the actual emergency management center, the EOC, Emergency Operations Center, shall I say, can double as a classroom as well. Right now, we hold classes in County Commissioners Court around Commissioners Court schedule. And when we have like community CPR classes that are getting more and more popular as the weeks go on and the months go on, we're running out of space to be able to properly teach those, because we're basically teaching them out of the day room of our station in Hallettsville. So,
I do want to, on behalf of Sheriff Greenwell, he got called out this morning. He had to be in Victoria Federal Court this morning, so he could not be here. He was going to chime in on some of this as well, but we'll save that for another date. But anyway, do we have any questions, comments, or? And I don't know if you guys, and again, this is probably the first time we're really saying it to the public of what, hey, we need to step our gear up. We need to start planning 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. What do we need building-wise to survive and to accommodate the growth that's happening, which we're going to talk, we're going to get to item number 13 here in a minute to discuss the creation of a new district court for our county. It's coming. So we have to prepare ourselves for what's coming. You want to add anything?
I'm good.
Okay. And I think, did you talk about bringing a fourth unit on?
I did mention that,
Okay.
yes, sir.
So, again, zero status means we need another unit. So we're looking at, right now we have how many heads and beds every night? On call right now, how many?
7.
So right now we have 7 EMS personnel, 24/7 on call.
Yes, sir.
In place to operate.
That would step it up to 8 or 9 people.
9 a day,
9.
yes, sir.
We
We
could
could bring on 2 more a day.
7 to 9, but we also have to house them at night. We've got to
Right.
sleep them, so that's gets where now we're overcrowded. And in today's world, accommodations for these people is key. If you're going to ask me to come work a 48-hour shift, I better have a nice place to lay down. A
That
time.
fourth unit would probably be based out of Hallettsville and just fill in wherever.
Yes,
you
sir.
need.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, Michael, what y'all do, is routine is not routine. And we don't see you, out on the street until they're siren and lights. But, what you do is, it's not critical until it's you. And when you're the one that's been involved in an accident, or you've suffered a heart attack or a stroke or something, well, then it is critical. Then it becomes critical to the people that are affected. And so I just want to say that because, you do a great work, and it's silent, and it's most of the time it's unappreciated, it's unseen, you don't notice it. But then when you have somebody that suffers a medical emergency, and then you guys are on the scene, it becomes real relevant. So the closer it hits to home, the more important it becomes. And so you guys do a great job. You get guys and gals, your team that does great work. And so I appreciate you, the leadership that you provide, and also the idea of apprising us of what the future is going to look like, right, and how we need to plan for that. So thank you for what you do, and I appreciate all your work.
Yeah, I think there's merit in what you say as well, because we're in a time frame, I think, in the next 10 to 15 years where we traditionally in Lavaca County have had an aging population, okay? Because people move here to retire, or folks like me move back home, and this is where I'm going to live the rest of my life. We're being pushed in with newer, younger families, which is okay, but these folks are comfortable driving to Houston from Hallettsville. They're comfortable driving to Houston from Speaks. Because they don't have to sit in traffic for an hour and a half. And that's happening more and more. And really, I think we see it more so than, I guess, the folks in the general public, because we see the permits that go out. We see the new septic wells that get drilled. We see all these things, and it really, truly is eye-opening. Really is.
I'll clarify, septic wells, we don't like the word septic wells.
No, septic tanks, whatever.
Okay.
I'm not in the septic business, so.
All right. For the sake of time, do I hear a motion to accept the motion to approve the telecommunications update?
Second.
All right, motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to approve the telecommunications update. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. I put number 5 on here just because I know that Shiner is building a location, but I think you've covered that. I don't know, we don't need to discuss number 5, I don't think, at this point. But I do think the subject matter is, if we have all our assets at the sheriff's office, telecommunications, we need that backup location or backup unit that we can go mobile now.
100%, 100%. We have to build redundancy in any system that we have,
Okay,
especially when it comes to emergency operations.
gotcha. All right. So I don't think we have anything on number 5 to approve. If with permission of the court, I'm going to jump to number 9 if we can, so while Michael's here so he can get where he needs to be. We're going to skip from number 5 to number 9. Number 9 is discuss and approve resolution in support of Senate Bill 1377 and House Bill 3000 to provide critical funding for rural emergency medical services. That's found on page 16 and 17. You want to talk on that, Michael, first?
Yes, thank you. There is a Senate Bill 1377. I believe it has a House Bill 3000 that goes with it. I've personally spoken with a few different lawmakers and have gone to testify on behalf of this. Really because when I have to go to Austin, everybody in our organization knows and the lawmakers know that I'm there to talk on rural EMS. My passion is rural Texas. And so when I was able to go up there and speak with Mr. Lavaca, Ms. Colcorst about this, we've seemed to get really good traction with it. This bill actually started with a judge up in northern Texas, Hood County, who got with Senator Perry. And Senator Perry filed this bill, and we've all gotten behind it because we see the benefits that this can have. Upwards of $350,000 for our county-sized population that could be used to purchase an ambulance or assets. It's just huge to be able to help us. We don't quite know if this bill is going to be updated language for it to sunset or for it to continue on. Either way, we would like support.
Okay. Well, I know we've taken the lead from the county. I've taken the lead from the county judge level of putting this out there to 254 counties. A lot of counties are passing this bill right now today and yesterday. So it's got a lot of support from the rural areas. One thing, there's no two EMS counties alike in how we fund our EMS. There's no two counties alike in how far we've got to transport a patient out of our county. So it's a lot to take on at the state level, but any relief they can give to us is relief from our taxpayers here on the ground. And so
I'm glad you said that because we have a saying that if you've seen one EMS system in Texas, you've seen one EMS system in Texas. That's the truth. Everybody,
I never heard that before.
it's catchy. It's good.
Very catchy.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, do I have a motion to approve the resolution in support of Senate Bill 1377 and House Bill 3000 to provide critical funding for rural emergency medical services?
Judge, I make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1 to approve the resolution in support of Senate Bill 1377 and House Bill 3000 to provide critical funding for rural emergency medical services. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Thank you very much, Chief Fair.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Time and patience. All right, now we're going back to number 6.
Finally.
You're keeping score here. This is Kenny's world.
Yeah, right.
Discuss and award bids for the purchase of gravel post-oak pit run with red binder. That's found on page 12.
Okay, we had 3 different companies go out for bids on the post oak gravel, pit run, wood red binder, and also screen gravel, 1.5 inches and down. Give them to you this way. Bid number 1784 was for Hoda Sand and Gravel. They have a stockpile price, a pickup at the plant price, and a delivery to every county road. Bid number 1785, same thing. Fred's Contract Store, a bid to our stockpiles, a bid to pick up at their plant, and a bid delivered to any county road. And bid number 1786, 181 Materials. This is a new bidder. They're originally out of Floresville, but they have a pit just the other side of Gonzales that would benefit probably Precinct 2 and myself the most. They too turn in a stockpile price, a pickup at plant price, and a delivery for every county road. And gentlemen, I believe you'll have a copy of all this. I would like to make a motion to approve all 3 vendors for the gravel post oak pit run with red binder and gravel post oak pit screen gravel, 1.5 inches and down.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4. Read that motion again, sorry.
Huh?
I'm trying to follow you. I did not follow you on that.
See right here, I made a motion to accept all 3 vendors on the stockpile price, the plant pickup price, and the delivery to any county road price.
So all the way down.
All the way down.
Okay.
Because where every gravel pit is located, it kind of benefits 1 or 2 of our precincts by being closer.
Okay. So motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4, to accept all 3 bids. That's bid number 1784, 1785, and 1786. for
Yes, sir.
Gravel post oak pit run with red binder.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
If anybody has any questions, I can provide them with a copy of the price sheet.
Okay. And that's in it. It's a detailed sheet, but the prices are very similar, and again, it's gonna be cost effective for each one of y'all to.
Yes,
go
sir.
after. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Okay, item number 7, advertise for bids for the purchase of seal coating and resealing for Lavaca County roads. That's found on page 13.
This is the basic thing we do every March, April. We go out for rebidding on the seal coating of all our roads.
Okay,
So with that being said, I'll make a motion to go out for bids for the purchase of seal coating and resealing for Lavaca County roads.
Second.
okay. Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4, to go out for bids for the purchase of seal coating and resealing for Lavaca County roads. That will be published in the paper between March 24th and April 4th. Seal bids, planing marked, will be received by Shayna R. Opiella, Lavaca County Auditor, at 109 North LaGrange Street, Hallettsville, Texas, 77964, until 10:30 a.m. on Friday, April 11th, 2025, for the purchase of the seal coating of Lavaca County roads. Anyone interested in bidding that project can contact the judge's office. We'll get you a copy of that bid sheet as well. All right, so motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Now, number 8, Paul Yemerick. She still here?
Wake up, Paul.
Wake up, Paul. Paul Yemerick is a local precinct chair, and he signed a public participation form to speak. So, Paul Yemerick, if you got the floor.
Well, I wanted to recap our Lavaca County Day at the Capitol, our last week and a day, the 17th. I want to thank everybody that did come. You missed a good opportunity to tour the Capitol, talk to our Representative Lauterbach and Senator Kolkhorst, one-on-one in the room. We had a meeting room for 3 hours that we could have a little lunch and a little discussion. I had a sign-in sheet, I had 34 people sign it, and then I had a couple people tell me they didn't sign in, so just short of 40 it sounded like. So good turnout for the size of Lavaca County. I did have a resolution by A.J. Lauterbach that he went ahead and made enough for every citizen that did attend, but I'd like to present to the court.
Okay.
This is H.R. 419, and then also Senator Kolkhorst did the same thing, signed by Dan Patrick, Secretary of State, and then Senator Kolkhorst, and that is Senate Resolution 244. So I'd like to present it to the court, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Paul. We appreciate you planning that day, and it was a great day, I think, just to spend at the Capitol with the legislatures as well, and it was not partisan. I think there was...
That's correct. It's nonpartisan.
It was
And
nonpartisan
everybody
day.
was invited.
Anybody can go.
Had good discussions. Some interesting bills being handled by our representative and senator. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, too. I'm not going to read these resolutions for the sake of time, but do I have a motion to acknowledge the House Resolution number 419 and Senate Resolution number 244 from the state capitol?
I'll make a motion to acknowledge.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4, to acknowledge the resolutions from the Senate and the House of the state capitol declaring March 17, 2025 as Lavaca County Day at the state capitol. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you, Paul, again. You did a great job of organizing that. We can't say enough. We just don't have the time to organize it. You've taken some slack for us. We appreciate it. Thank you. All right, moving on. Number 10, discuss and approve bond for Robert Baker, part-time deputy at the Lavaca County Sheriff's Office, found on page 18 to 23. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve bond for Robert Baker, part-time deputy at Lavaca County
Sheriff's Office.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to approve the bond for Robert Baker, part-time deputy to the Lavaca County Sheriff's Office. Is Robert here by any chance? He's not. But he's actually working. That's okay.
Thank you.
Chief Deputy Carl Herbst just said Robert is actually working today, so, all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Robert Baker. Welcome to the family. Number 11, discuss and approve bond for Jennifer Wright, investigator at the Lavaca County Sheriff's Office. That's found on page 24 through 29. Do I hear a motion?
Your Honor, go ahead, you got it. I second it.
I heard precinct 2.
Yes.
Precinct 1 second it?
Yes.
Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1 to approve the bond for Jennifer Wright, investigator at the Lavaca County Sheriff's Office. Any questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Again, thank you, Jennifer, for joining the team. Jennifer here, she's actually working too. All right.
Slave driver.
All right, number 12, accept payment from the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts in amount of $5,236.73 from the Law Enforcement Officer Standards and Education Fund to the Lavaca County Sheriff's Office for the training of Lavaca County law enforcement officers. That's found on page 30 and 32. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to approve and accept the payment from the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts in the amount of $5,236.73 from the Law Enforcement Officer Standards and Education Fund to the Lavaca County Sheriff's Office for the training of Lavaca County law enforcement officers. Any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. I'm getting delirious. All right, number 13. As we previously discussed, this is a very important matter that we need to take up today. Number 13, discuss and approve supporting the creation of a new district court to begin January 1st, 2027, and said district court shall have a geographic jurisdiction covering and including both Lavaca and Colorado counties. That's found on page 33, that resolution, and that's probably the third or fourth draft. But anyway, that's the resolution that they are waiting on as we speak. Legislation has already been drafted. At the state level, they were working on that ahead of time. Colorado passed theirs yesterday. They're asking Lavaca to pass this today. Do I hear a motion, or do we have any other comments we want to address?
Your Honor, I make a motion that we approve supporting the creation of this new district court beginning January the 1st, 2027.
Okay.
To have geographic jurisdiction, including Lavaca and Colorado County.
Second.
All right, motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1 to approve supporting the creation of a new district court to begin January 1st, 2027, and said district court shall have a geographic jurisdiction covering and including both Lavaca and Colorado counties. Any other questions or comments? Nope. Good to go? Good to go. All right. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. All right, and Naylene, the first thing we do after court is get that in the hands of Judge Crawford. She's waiting on that on behalf of the court. Okay, where are we? That was 13?
16.
We're on 16, we're moving along. Number 16, discuss and/or approve proclamation declaring the week of April 13th through the 19th, 2025 as National Telecommunicators Week in Lavaca County. We have Ms. Charity James here. You at least got to come up and say hello to the court so people know who you are. In case they have questions, they may have questions, you know. Ms. Charity James is now our, what is your title? Your title is?
Dispatch supervisor.
Dispatch supervisor. Formerly that was Gina DeWart. Gina retired back in May, and then you came on January 1.
Yes.
Officially in that role. Thank you for doing what you do. We
Thank
appreciate you. I'm going to read that proclamation while you're standing there awkwardly.
You're fine.
I didn't tell you it was going to be easy, did I? So this is a proclamation from the court on behalf of our telecommunicators. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property, and whereas the safety of our police and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Lavaca County Communications Center. And whereas public safety dispatchers are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas the public safety dispatchers are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activity by radio, providing them information and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety dispatchers of the Lavaca County Sheriff's Office have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year, therefore be resolved that the Commissioners Court of Lavaca County declares the week of April 13 through 19, 2025 to be National Telecommunicators Week in Lavaca County in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our county and citizens safe. Charity, thank you very much.
Thank y'all.
Do you have anything you want to say, you want to add?
I'll just say for the girls itself that, I mean, they won't be opposed if anybody wants to bring them cookies or cakes or anything like that to really show your appreciation for them for that week, so.
Well, we thank you for taking...
Thank y'all.
I want to say this before you leave. I want to say thank you for taking the lead in this endeavor, and Michael Furr and everyone that's been involved in finding this person to head this up, and what you've done already is phenomenal. We monitor that radio traffic, and I'm always floored when I hear an officer out in the field doing something, and then y'all check in on them. If you haven't heard from them, you're checking in on them, and everyone's checking on everybody. And it's a team effort right now, and it's working very, very well. Thank you for taking the lead.
Thank you so
and
much.
for stepping up to this. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Do you hear a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 4 to approve the proclamation declaring the week of April 13th through the 19th, 2025 as National Telecommunicators Week in Lavaca County. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you, Charity and Company, for doing what you do. All right, number 17, declare 2007 John Deere Diamond Brush Cutter serial number with the last VIN of 27655 as surplus property from Lavaca County Precinct 3.
Yes, basically, this is an older John Deere brush cutter, and we're gonna declare it surplus property because we got us a new one. So with that, I make a motion.
Second.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I heard number 2.
Yeah.
Motion made by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 2 to declare the 2007 JD Diamond Brush Cutter serial number LO6330H527655 as surplus property from Lavaca County Precinct 3. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 18, discuss and approve road plan and paving updates. Any updates?
Yes, I do. I just got a phone call from RB Everett today, the salesman. They will be delivering our new oil distributor truck Thursday to Precinct 1's yard.
Okay.
And they want to set up as soon as we can, start training on it with our designated employees.
Have y'all assembled your team?
We got them pretty much together.
Pretty much.
And then have y'all discuss who's gonna pay first? They go by seniority?
I guess we go by seniority.
Precinct 4, any objections?
It all works, I guarantee.
Anyway, I know that y'all have been working hard behind the scenes. I think we're looking forward to y'all assembling your team, who's gonna run those machines, maintain the machines, and then get those machines rolling. So I think the community is pleased where y'all are heading with that. Any other questions on road paving plan? I don't think we have anything improved, but thank you for the update.
Pay, baby, pay.
Pay, baby, pay, baby, pay. All right, number 19, discuss and approve taking action with landowners and household waste collection companies who are obstructing county right-of-ways per Texas Penal Code 42.03, obstructing highway or other passageway or county road and right-of-way. Do we want to take the lead on discussing that?
Yeah, I just, it's not real bad, but we have a few. You definitely, the trash cans or whatever, people are doing real good with that, putting it up their driveways and putting them in. But the big metal dumpsters, we're starting to get a few that are putting into the county right-of-way, and it's basically a safety and a liability to the landowner. And also, I have some places where they have them, and they're tearing the roads up, the ditches up, and we don't have right-of-ways wide enough. And I think anybody that has the big dumpsters, it needs to be on their private property.
Yeah.
That's basically it, and I don't want to get it to where we start getting a bunch of them and having problems. I think we just need to nip this in the bud and go forward.
I think at first we need to write some letters to these companies explaining what's going to happen if they leave their bins in our right of way. We're going to pick them up, confiscate them.
Whatever we need to
I
do.
have contacted two separate trash companies, and one seems like they're gonna give them the serial number and the county road, but then I have one company that wants to know the landowner's name. Well, these people moved here and I don't know who they are, and I'm not gonna go up there. I think we just need to confiscate them or whatever and take them to the sheriff's department until they come
We'll
up.
start with that.
And basically, it starts with the company.
Right.
We need to make it to a point to them that don't, that if they don't have a proper location to put them on the landowner's property and the correct entrance, that they should not put them out, period.
And I think the example someone showed me, one of y'all showed me that one of these bins was running up the ditches trying to get to their trucks. And that's messing up with drainage and roadway, the integrity of the roadway. We've got to come up with a solution.
We have a road we're trying to work on now, we're trying to get them to move,
Okay.
so, cause it's in a ditch where we can't even cut the ditch out.
And maintenance is an issue,
All right.
road maintenance.
So I guess the action I think I'm suggesting at this point is let's try to write some letters to these companies and get the response and tell them what's going to happen, if they don't, give them some time to rectify their dumpster situations before we start having to pick them up.
Yes.
And the biggest issue is you're talking about the big dumpsters.
Yes.
Household trash is generally,
Not the 18-wheeler dumpsters, it's the smaller, I don't know, like an 8 cubic yard, 10 cubic yard dumpster.
The big metal dumpsters.
Yeah.
Actually, any dumpsters in a county right of way.
Yeah.
Period.
okay, do you want the judge to write the letter, or, I can get with
I'll
county
make a
attorney as well?
motion, so.
Okay,
I'll
I don't mind
second
writing
that.
letter. All right. Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3, to approve taking action with landowners and household waste collection companies who are obstructing county right-of-way per Texas Penal Code 4203, obstructing highway or other passageway/county road right-of-way, and have the county judge write them a letter explaining they need to vacate our right-of-ways with their equipment. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, or face further action. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, we are moving right along. We still got a lot of ways to go here. Anybody need a break at this point? You want to keep
Yes.
going? Huh?
Yes.
All right,
Downstairs.
let's do that. Let's take of course, we'll take about a 5 to 8 minute recess. When all 5 commissioners get back in here, we will reconvene. So we are in recess for about 5 to 8 minutes. You live? All right. Court is back out of a short recess, and we are now on, we've skipped around this morning quite a bit, but we are now back on a regular docket here. We are on number 20. Item number 20 is discuss and approve Lavaca County Road bonus form with Lisi EOG Resources Incorporated to include .77 acres of land on Lavaca County Road 328 in the amount of $770. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, sir, I'll make a motion.
Second.
I heard 3 and 4, and a yes from 1, but I'm going to go with 3 and 4. Motion made by 3, second by precinct 4, to approve the Lavaca County Road bonus form with Lisi EOG Resources Incorporated to include .77 acres of land located on Lavaca County Road 328 in the amount of $770. Any other questions or comments? And that's found on page 41 through 43, if you weren't following along, sorry. Pretty standard, but anyway.
Yeah, it's a standard agreement.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Number 21, discuss and approve gas division order between Hurd Enterprises LTD and Lavaca County as receiver for the 25th Judicial District Court, calls number 2022-04-24944CV. That's found on page 44 through 51. I saw Lori here. She left the building, I think. Of course, but anyway, this is out of district court. Page 44. Basically, the county becomes a receiver of funds when they can't find the division order on that. So that's an order basically out of the district court. So do I hear a motion?
Your Honor, I move that we approve gas division order between Hurd Enterprises LTD and Lavaca County as receiver of 25th Judicial District Court case cause number 2022-04-24944CV.
I second.
Okay. Motion made by precinct 1, second by precinct 2, to approve the gas division order between Hurd Enterprises LTD and Lavaca County, a receiver for the 25th Judicial District Court, calls number 2022-04-24944CV. If anyone's interested in that information, they can find it in the district clerk's office. It's the interest in this is .00381884. Not a whole lot of funds, but it's needless to say they had to have it go somewhere. Any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Number 22, discuss and approve division order between Baytex Energy and Lavaca County to include Pluto A1H, B2H, Pluto C3H, and D4H.
Your Honor, I recommend that we approve the division order between Baytex Energy and Lavaca County to include Pluto A1H, B2H, Pluto C3H, D4H.
Second.
Okay, motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 1, to approve the division order between Baytex Energy and Lavaca County. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. I was going to go back on 21. I did see there's a check in the amount of $3,360.58 that's going to Lavaca County Registry Funds. That was pertaining to item number 21. So we were receiving that on behalf of the unknown, the heirs. Okay, item number 23, discuss and approve resolution authorizing Lavaca County Auditor to be assigned the role of payment processor in the TDA-GO Grant Management System for the 2025-2026 Texas CDBG Project Grant. That's found on page 55. This is something GrantWorks needed to sign on us to allow them to go directly to the auditor.
Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you, ma'am.
It was really a voluntold thing, but
Your Honor, I move we approve a resolution authorizing Lavaca County Auditor to be assigned to the role of payment processor in the TDA GO Grant Management System for 25-26 Texas CDBG Project Grant.
I second.
motion made by precinct 1, second by precinct 2 to approve the resolution authorizing Lavaca County Auditor to be assigned the role of payment processor in the TDA-GO Grant Management System for the 2025-2026 Texas CDBG Project Grant. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign, the motion passes. Number 24, discussion and approve renewal of 2025-2026 property/contents coverage with the Texas Association of Counties Risk Management Pool.
Do you have anything to say there, or things?
This is the renewal of the property and the contents of the building in Lavaca County. Typically, TAC does their appraisals on the actual value of the building. You can increase your contents in your county bond, in your county buildings. They do it with a couple of other departments. It's not due till next Monday. But this is the renewal. So precinct 2 asked a while ago if we know the price, so we don't. This is just the court saying that they want to renew for the property and contents.
Do we have any?
Standard business, right?
Standard business.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to approve the renewal of 2025-2026 property/contents coverage with the Texas Association of Counties Risk Management Pool. The only question I have, which is a pet peeve of mine in the business sector, is do we have any say-so over what the values they put on these buildings?
Not necessarily, but they do come around every, I don't know, say 3, 4, 5 years. And at that point, if Fraser comes by, I will make sure for him to speak to you.
I will speak my mind. And then I'll call Wayne. I'll get Wayne involved.
I do have one question.
What?
Is there an inflation clause attached to that valuation?
Not every year, that's the reason why they do those appraisals. I'd say every 3 or 4 years.
Every 3 or 4? I just asked that question. We might follow up and check, because many times there is. They base it on, consumer price index, a lot of inflation index, and then they will make adjustments to the property accordingly on an annual basis when they come out. So when they do that, and I think it's something that probably should be there, because that puts someone else as being responsible for the valuation of those properties, which we really don't want. I mean, I don't know, do we know how to do that? And so we have, I know they do, and so I'd like to check and see if that's a possibility.
I will send an email in and copy you. That way when they respond, you'll get your answer.
Thank you, I appreciate that, thank you.
I have one.
Yes.
It says communication tower, building value $11,590.
The tower building that's out on the highway out here, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Is that what it is? On 90? If
Yes,
that's
but
on
we-
90,
but-
that's,
We have more than one, now we have 3 towers. We own 1 tower, we rent 2, but we've got 3 tower buildings.
I don't know.
So
I know there's one out there on Bernard's property. I think it, or blew up with one of them.
Okay, now here it is right there. Look at the last 2, new building antenna. They caught those new buildings. So we have, the last 2 line items is the Shiner antenna and then the Molten antenna, new building antenna. And
They're valued at $1.2 million.
that's,
Their value, this is not valued, it can't be much if it's $11,590.
that's got to be a misprint. We need to look at that. But I mean, I guess what we need to do is,
That's okay, I was just curious.
I'd like to question, because I mean, you got the courthouse valued at 27 million, which I agree, you couldn't build it for 27 million, but it's not going away.
No.
It won't be blown away. Could be in a sinkhole at one point. That's my biggest fear. But
That's all.
I think,
Do is question all of these, y'all, the court approve or disapprove of any of this.
my experience, you won't get much leeway with.
But when you look on that next page, somebody has a communication tower valued at $42,900.
Oh, okay, they got the equipment on there too. Hold on, the towers, the equipment is worth that. That's what they're getting at.
That's the contents.
Yeah, so City of Shiner antenna and equipment. So on the above one, the old communication tower that we own is valued at less. And then
42,000.
there's a building there too. I bet you that's the old building.
Where's that one? I don't know either, that's all right.
Anyway, it's right there.
So,
Okay.
All right, I had a motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to approve the renewal of 2025-2026 property/contents coverage with Texas Association of Counties Risk Management Pool. Any questions or comments? Other additional ones? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 25, discuss and approve the transfer of obsolete and non-working IT-related equipment on Exhibit A from Lavaca County Tax Assessor, Collector's Office to the IT Department. Do I hear a motion?
Yes.
Second.
I heard 3. You made,
Give it a 1.
who made a motion?
Edward.
Yes, sir.
Precinct 1 made a motion, second by precinct 2?
Yes.
Okay. Motion made by precinct 1, second by precinct 2 to approve the transfer of obsolete and non-working IT-related equipment on Exhibit A from the Lavaca County Tax Assessor's Collector's Office to the IT Department. Any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 26, declare items on Exhibit B as surplus property from the Lavaca County Tax Assessor, Collector's Office. Down on page 58 to 59. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to declare the items on Exhibit B as surplus property from the Lavaca County Tax Assessor Collector's Office. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Next, they've been waiting here for 1 hour and 45 minutes. Sorry for your wait. We have a wake-up call. This is presentation with Higginbotham Insurance presenting supplemental insurance offerings for county employees. And we're going to limit you to about 5 minutes. Okay.
Or less.
If you would, state your names for the court, and then you may proceed.
Judge, Commissioners, my name is Frank Hetmonick. I'm with Higginbotham Public Sector.
My name's Ty Gunn. I'm from LaGrange, so I'm somewhat local.
So thank you for having us today. We are insurance consultants. We work for Higginbotham, who's headquartered out of Fort Worth. Real quick, I'll give you a rundown. We've been around since 1948. We're one of the largest insurance consulting agencies in the country. We're employee-owned. The best thing I like about us is we are headquartered in Fort Worth. We're not out of the Northeast, Chicago, anywhere like that. We're out of Fort Worth. So about 3 to 4 years ago, Higginbotham acquired a company called FBS, Financial Benefit Services. They really cut their teeth in the K through 12 market. Today we represent about 550 independent school districts across the state of Texas. About a year and a half ago, they asked Ty and myself to help them expand their footprint into the cities and counties. So this January, we rolled out our first voluntary benefits cooperative, and we gave Shayna some leave behinds, but this is all of your products non-medical. So dental all the way down to identity theft. All of these policies have 3-year rate guarantees, low and high options, really affordable prices with better benefits for your employees. A part of our services, we also have a proprietary enrollment system. One of the largest or most heavily used enrollment bin admin systems across the state of Texas. With this system, we're able to enroll, educate your employees, but we're also able to help the administration through payroll deductions, payroll reports. We can do billing and reconciliation. We're a third-party administrator, so we can do billing and reconciliation. And what that means is instead of sending a payment to 6 or 7 different carriers, we can actually take that on your behalf and make payment to all these carriers, and then you're only admitting one form of payment to us.
It just streamlines the admin part of it, so it
Yep.
takes some heat off your employees.
Okay. We've also linked up with several different payroll companies, so we can interface these and really streamline that process from an ads and terms, new hires, the enrollment system, enrollment process. Let's see what else. How many minutes is that?
Well, we've caught some traction with the City of Giddings, City of Columbus, City of Weimar, Schulenburg ISD, Fayetteville ISD, Taylor ISD, and the list goes on with Colorado County, Fayette County, Lee County. So there are other county and municipalities in the area that see value in what we're offering, and we'd like an opportunity.
And I believe you guys are currently with TAC. right now from a medical plan perspective. What we do for counties that are currently in TAC is we're able to maybe consult with that, maybe give you a second set of eyes if you guys were ever interested in leaving TAC. We can provide some options. So make sure you're getting the best deal out there. But specifically, one of the things we were talking about was the voluntary benefits cooperative. So we're the awarded benefits consultant for the PACE purchasing co-op, if you're familiar with that or a part of that, and then also Allied States and a couple others, but those are probably the two bigger ones that most people are familiar with. Joining the voluntary benefits cooperative is pretty simple. It's an interlocal agreement and an operational procedures agreement. So, any questions? I know that was quick and.
Yeah. Do you have any literature or anything you're leaving with us? Or
Absolutely.
Have us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, we can get it later. That's fine.
So how would you communicate that, or could you propose to set up a meeting, or will you?
Yeah, we would love to really just set up a meeting and discuss in further detail. So,
Okay.
I know this is a really quick introduction, and we know you guys have been checking
And
things
you
out.
got thrown in on a large docket
yeah.
here, so.
So right now, we have foundation benefits with Jonathan Davis. So he comes around typically in August of every year to try to encourage people to get supplemental insurances. And that's similar to what they're doing, except maybe go one step further and do the administrative part of it and take that off of the auditor's office, like he said.
Right. I think that would really free up some manpower.
Just to give you an idea, we work with Arlington ISD. They have about 8,500 employees, and we can reconcile their entire bills for all of their policies in about 2 minutes. So that's where we come in handy.
So would it provide value for them to come back prior to the next enrollment, say, like you say, in August?
Probably the next few months.
Next few months, okay.
Next couple months, I would recommend, yeah.
Perfect.
There is some build-out time and whatnot to set up the back end of the technology system and stuff like that, but sooner the better for us. We'd love to come back as soon as you guys would have us.
Okay. All right. We can coordinate.
We appreciate your time.
Cool.
Thank you for,
Thank you, guys.
thank you for your patience today.
Oh,
too.
absolutely, thank you.
All right. This one has been waiting for an hour and 50 minutes, but Janora, if you come forward, please. Number 28, presentation from Yoakum EDC, Ms. Janora Young, correct?
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to be here today. I appreciate the invitation from the judge. And to all the first responders in the room, thank you for your service. I am very grateful. I'm here just to give you an update of things that are happening in Yoakum and to share a little information at the request of the judge. The reason, actually, I had a meeting with him because we're working on the development of a new website for our Economic Development Corporation, which is a Type B sales tax corporation under the umbrella of the city. And in the process of drafting the content, one of our topics is incentives. And I wanted to visit with the judge about any incentives that the county may offer so that we could list those or link them to the website for the county. So in that process, I talked a little bit about the website and some things that we're doing. I gave him an update on the industrial park, which we refer to as IP2, Industrial Park 2. It's located at the intersection of 77A South and Carl Rammert, right at the four-way stop across the street from the airport. And we are currently in the process of the permitting process with TECEQ. We received a grant in 2023, a Federal Economic Development Administration grant for $2.5 million to take water and wastewater to the industrial park. We have hired an engineering firm, grant administrators, and the engineering firm discovered through our conceptual plans that there was a savings of about $600,000 if we reduced the wastewater line from 12 inches to 8 inches. 12 was much more than we needed. We also discovered that part of the wastewater line had already been taken from the city, a portion of the way to the park. So we ended up saving about $600,000, and we were able to amend the grant and transfer some of the funds from the wastewater side of the grant to water, and we are now able to extend water from the industrial park all the way to the hospital, creating a loop which provides better pressure for the entire area, including the industrial park. We are currently in negotiation with one potential tenant for the park. We think we're very close to closing that, and I will be very happy when I can make an announcement on that. Also on the website, we're getting very close to launching that. We're still inputting information, and unfortunately, I'm the one drafting the content, so it takes a little bit of time to get that done. I also wanted to update you on our grant projects. The EDC provides grants for local businesses, and we can fund projects within the county, but anytime there's a county project, we would come before the Commissioners Court for your approval to make sure, and by law, we are required to do that. We just revamped, or the board did, revamped our grant program, and we really just simplified it. Where we had 11 different grant programs, we've reduced that in different forms. We've reduced it to one form, one application. We still cover all the things that we did before, but it's a lot less paperwork for the office and a lot easier for applicants. And when someone applies for our grants, we actually have an overview of the grant listed right now on the city's website. We do not have the applications printable from the website, and that's done intentionally because we want to be able to visit with those people who are looking at requesting funding from us. We want to know what projects are coming to us, and we don't want applications floating all over. So you must come in the office and visit with us, but you can download the overview for all of the different types of funding that we offer, and we fund everything from quality of life, which we've done several of those since I've been there 3. One that I think is of note is what is known as the Yoakum Colored Cemetery. It's located in DeWitt County, and we funded a portion of the cost of a fence around that cemetery, and it has just recently been recognized and designated by the Texas Historical Commission as a historic cemetery, which qualifies it to be part of the historic cemetery tours in Texas. Some of the other projects that we funded, we have a new restaurant located in a building downtown across from Emiliano's. It's Oak and Honey, and EDC had actually funded that grant to the tune of about $150,000 prior to my coming to work there. They approved it, and we funded it right after I came to work there. So we now have a new restaurant there, which is Oak and Honey. They also actually are leasing the 2 apartments that are located upstairs in that building. And then SAK Construction applied for a grant last year. Their expansion is a $500,000 expansion in downtown Yoakum, which they utilized one of the old tomato barns along the rail, and rather than tear that down, they lifted the building, replaced the flooring, and stabilized it, and that is the area will use for storing their supplies and wood and their granite countertops. They've added offices, and we funded half of that project, and we will release the funding probably in April, I believe, is when they think that project will be complete and they will open their doors. We've also assisted with a restaurant downtown, YK Deli and Smoothie, and I don't know if any of you have ever eaten there. It's a very small area, but it's a young woman from Cambodia who came to the United States at the age of 15, so 18 years ago. She entered the country legally, and last week she received her American citizenship in Corpus Christi at the federal courthouse, and I was honored to witness that. She's worked very hard. She generates a tremendous amount of sales tax out of her very small little restaurant, which is probably half the size of this area up here. And she applied for a grant through the EDC this last year for $100,000 to expand in the space next door, and she will open her Asian and American restaurant, we believe, in April. And if you haven't eaten there, I would highly recommend. And the name of that restaurant will be Navy's Place, and she will continue to run YK Deli. She employs 12 to 15 people right now, and she will probably employ between 20 and 25 between the two restaurants. And then the city received a grant this last year. It's a 100% grant, and for a comprehensive plan. We're in the process now of taking stakeholder input. We've held several workshops locally, and we're now doing virtual interviews with like industries. The next one will be April 9th with the leather and western wear industry to seek input for this comprehensive plan. Under the grant for this comprehensive plan, the city must agree to adopt or approve and adopt the program. And when they do that, then so many comprehensive plans sit on shelves. I'm sure you're aware of that. This one will be implemented, and it'll take us about 18 months, I think, for the completion of it. But we have hired the CSRS is the grant administrator on that, and also they're the ones that are overseeing the comprehensive plan and the process to get us through there. And then finally, the Yoakum Airport. City received a 90-10 grant for this project, and it's about a $2 million project. And the improvements will include a rehab of the runway, the apron, the turnarounds, striping, and drainage. And the project, I believe, begins either July or August and should take up to 2 months to, which means the airport will be closed for approximately 2 months. According to our engineers, though, at this time, the project is $200,000 under budget. So we're doing everything we can to make every dollar that we receive go as far as we can take it. So if you have any questions for me, I would be more than happy to answer. Some of the things that we're looking at, ways to track leakage out of our community, is we're looking at leakage studies through a program that the city and the EDC purchased together. And it's a 1-year subscription with Placer AI. And we can track everything from retail to, we track leakage through the use of cell phones. And it's pretty amazing what you can know about where people are shopping. It's not, you don't know who the person is that's shopping, but we get reports on how much money is leaving our community, and it's a lot of money that leaves little communities. Another thing that recently, I'm registered, and most economic development directors are registered with the Office of the Governor to receive leads from the state. And just in the last 10 days, I have seen a huge increase in the amount of leads that are coming out of the Office of the Governor, and it's everything from a $4.3 million project to a $600 million project. So food for thought, and I would plant a seed today. Those rural communities that work closely together and share information, poised, I think, for development, will have a really good opportunity to compete for jobs and new industry in our area. But it will require us to be very open with one another, to do some asset mapping and put together what all our assets in an entire region are, in an entire county, so that when those leads come in, I know there were 2 that we received this last 10 days that I felt like probably were pretty good fits for us. There was one that you had to be within 30 miles of a commercial airport, and we were 40 miles, not 30. And believe it or not, those things can disqualify you. So, but there are a tremendous amount of jobs, and on those leads, they give you a brief overview, but very specific information what are negotiables and what are non-negotiables, how many jobs they anticipate creating, what the capital investment will be. There's a lot of information in about 3 pages, and we have a very short period of time to respond to those at the governor's office. But I have seen a great increase in the last 10 days in those coming in. So unless you have questions for me, I will.
I bet we'd be here all day with questions, but let's go.
I just have 2.
Yes, sir.
So, do you have a grant administrator?
We have a grant administrator for the industrial park, yes. CSRS is who, they're actually out of Louisiana, but they do a lot of business in South Texas. They were already hired to write the grant for the industrial park when I went to work there, and that was the first project I stepped into that and worked with them on the grant submission. And then we hired them as our grant administrator once we received the grant. They are also the engineers for the industrial park, and we did go out for a bid because it was the city that went out for the bid, and it's the city that actually received the grant. So they were required to go out for bids, and CSRS won the bid. So they're our engineers, but yes, we do have a grant administrator for that specific grant. We do not have a grant administrator just specifically for the city. I know our city clerk administers a lot of the GLOW grants and a lot of the grants they receive.
So so you're connected to the Economic Development Corporation?
Yes, sir. I'm a city employee, but I'm the executive director for the Economic Development Corporation.
And you I just heard you say that you have an industrial park?
We do, yes, sir.
Is that what you said?
It's 63 acres, yes, sir.
Okay.
A little over 63.
And you want to attract light industry?
Yes, sir.
To that area?
Yes, sir.
And provide them some incentive to locate there. So, and the EDC uses 4B sales tax?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so can you give me an idea of what that looks like in terms of a budget?
Well,
Just broadly.
yes. Last year we funded, we bring in about $500,000 in sales tax for the Economic Development Corporation each year, a little more than that, but we're very conservative in how we use that. We funded Circle Y saddles, did a $500,000 expansion when the Casper Corporation purchased Circle Y last year. There was one building remaining on the property that did not have a sprinkler system in it. And that sprinkler system cost close to $500,000, and we funded half of that. We're very excited to have the Casper Corporation owning Circle Y, and one thing I do want to point out, I toured their facility last week. They have just completed and are now stocking there are 2 new saddle showrooms, one for Tucker Saddles and one for Circle Y. They also just purchased the Textan brand and brought it back to Yoakum. As you probably all know, Carl Wellhausen started the Textan in the leather industry in Yoakum, and he is the grandfather of the owners of the Casper Corporation. And so the grandchildren are very happy to bring that brand back to, it was purchased by a company in Ohio several years ago and pretty much taken apart. They held on to the brand, and the Casper Corporation just purchased it and brought it back to Yoakum. So there'll be a room dedicated, a small area that's dedicated to Textan, and they may do some very unique things under the Textan brand. They won't go back to tanning leather again, but there are some things that they're looking at doing that are very unique. And the saddle showrooms will be open for us to send tourists to, but they're showrooms for their customers to actually be able to come in and see the saddles, the tack, and what they manufacture there, and the leather tools, saddles, so that they can order saddles, or there may be a few on the showroom floor that you can purchase off the showroom floor. But I believe that's strictly for their customers. But it is a place to send tourists, and they very definitely want people walking through their saddle showroom. So in answer to your question, we funded half of that $500,000 project, so almost $250,000 on that. SAK Construction is another one that we funded $500,000, and we've actually approved them last year. SAK will be funded out of this year. because on a $500,000 revenue, we obviously can't fund. So, and we fund more small projects or smaller projects, and we're looking at trying to do more of that. We also have a facade improvement grant and instead of having grants that are specific to, say, the downtown or the extraterritorial jurisdiction, the board really felt that if a company that is located in our extraterritorial jurisdiction or in the community should be able to qualify for a grant and not have to say only X amount goes downtown and X amount. It's first come, first serve is how we will fund these. And for those who look at coming and moving their business here, if it's in the county, in our extraterritorial jurisdiction, or in either one of the counties in which we're located, we would come to the Commissioner's Court and seek your approval before we approved a grant. So you would always be in the know about what's happening in your county. And that's part of the reason I think the judge, I won't put words in his mouth, but I think that's part of the reason he wanted me to be here today, to let you know what's going on in your county, at least in Yoakum, the portion of your county that we're in.
I apologize bringing you in here on such a packed day. It just happens. And,
Oh, it's amazing what I can learn when my mouth is not moving. I learned a lot today.
I think the key takeaway from over the years that I've gotten to know you is you are the guru in economic development as far as our region is concerned.
Well, thank you.
Janora and I both sit on a committee at the Golden Crescent on economic development. She's very influential on that committee. So I'd like to see you come back to this court as much as you can within reason of
Anytime.
Once a quarter, once 6 months, just to update us. What do we need to be doing? I mean, in other words, you can help us steer us where we need to be too, from a county perspective.
I appreciate very much your service. My father was a mayor in a small town most of my young life, so I have a great deal of respect for the amount of hours you put into what you do. So thank you so much.
You mentioned 63 acres. How much of the 63 acres are in Lavaca County?
All of it.
All of it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So anything we add out there benefits the county's tax base.
Lots of things happening in Yoakum. I mean, again, it's also, sometimes I consider it a vulnerable city. You've got some of your industries get hit economically from time to time, from EDIPAC to different issues. Would y'all consider, are y'all full employment right now in Yoakum, or do y'all have some problems with labor?
Labor and workforce is a problem. That and housing for rural communities across the United States. It is very common, and actually in Canada and Australia. We're members of the Business Retention Expansion International Organization, and that's one of the things that's talked about at a conference every year. Two of the things actually is workforce and housing. It's a shortage everywhere. It's difficult, and it's very challenging, the cost of goods and the cost of development in rural areas. So if we can, the more we partner, the greater our chances are for applying for larger grants and sharing those among the region. And I'm sure you know this because you've been in Commissioner Faircloth of, every time there's redistricting, rural loses. We lose a little bit of our voice, yet everything you eat or wear starts in rural areas. So we're essential to the economy, and we do so much, and the majority of our communities in Texas are rural.
That summarized my thoughts exactly. The theme of this court, when we go to conferences, is we're losing our voice at the Capitol to the metropolitan areas that they have more money to buy out to literally buy out their candidates. And Faircloth can tell you that all day long.
I read through some bills yesterday, and it's very concerning because there's the new ones that are coming up are even taking more away from local control. Local control is now considered Austin.
Janora, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Anytime you want to come, just tell Naylene and, hey, come tell us what's going on in Yoakum.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janora.
All right, we're going to move some things around. 29, let's take care of 29. Number 29, discuss and approve advertising requests for qualifications for engineering services on Lavaca County bridges that do not meet the TxDOT specs on bridge replacements. This comes out of precinct 3.
Basically, Precinct 2 and myself have been contacted by TxDOT saying that we need to upgrade or repair parts of some bridges that do not meet their specs. And I also have probably one of the only wooden bridges left that doesn't fit TxDOT specs. I'd like to get engineered so I could go forward with rebuilding that road.
Okay. And you'll have money for engineering
And I
services?
think you have, what, 3 projects?
Yeah.
I do too, plus that extra one. And I, throw it in if, precinct 4 and 1 have anything to put in there too.
I guess my question is, we don't have a county engineer. We almost need to adopt one. Can you do one for a year-to-year basis on bridge projects that don't affect TxDOT? But we don't have specific projects labeled at this time. We just wanted to talk to an engineer about these projects. But
Yes.
Could we hire them more as as a consultant, like as needed, rather than just, we're not trying to hire an employee, I don't think, are we?
No.
What we're wanting to do is just use them as a consultant, say, project-oriented. This is the project that we're dealing with.
I just want to make sure we're not in something open-ended here. But I know there's, I don't know, this came up, I saw it on y'all's request, and I was like, we need to slow down a bit to make sure that we're doing it right.
I really don't think we need to go out for full-time
or what are they?
engineer.
Some of them don't.
Well, it seems like your bridge you're talking about, I think, is the one that's washing underneath and you need to refurbish it? And you have some of the same?
Oh, yeah.
The problem is from time to time, y'all go out for engineers, you go out for surveying on the certain bridge project when that's below the threshold of 25,000, you can go hire that person to get the job done. But now this is something different that may be a little larger, so do we want to put them all in one package, or I don't know?
Kenny, I thought a couple of years ago, we got a 10-year plan from Yoakum, and it had every bridge in Lavaca County on it.
That fits their criteria. These are smaller. Smallest one I got is 12 foot. They have to be over 20 foot.
So again, you start getting engineers on some of these low water crossings and stuff, the cost goes
No,
up.
these are basically what I have is, I think Wayne has the same thing, a higher traffic, couple of them roads.
We can try, but I would go, like you said, Judge, on you said, as needed, don't just get them in.
Yes.
As needed.
As needed.
Okay. So do I hear a motion?
Yes.
Second.
What is your motion? Read it to me.
Get it up. Does it have to be a TxDOT engineer, or can it be any engineer?
It can be.
It won't have to be, it's
Civil
not gonna be a
engineer,
TxDOT
any
engineer.
civil engineer.
That's what I'm asking you. I mean,
Let me
we're
ask-
kind of in a no man's land here.
What's that?
I
Why
try
don't
and
we
get
see
TxDOT
what
to
somebody
kind of give me
else
some spec.
No, I'm just
Have you checked in?
real quick,
Anybody?
why do we need an engineer?
As needed,
It was an engineered bridge to start with in 1986, engineered, built for Lavaca County.
And now TxDOT says it's too small for them.
Well, it was too small, well, that's why Lavaca County did it back in
So we're forced to
1986.
condemn the bridge or replace the bridge at our own cost. and
TxDOT
expense.
will condemn it if we don't get something that's fixed.
And I think part of the issue here is, guys, it's really, it comes to this. We're sort of at the mercy.
Yes.
I'm very much at the mercy of TxDOT. TxDOT comes to me and tells me, bam, I don't have any choice. There isn't a second opinion. There isn't, I don't have a voice in this at all. And so what we're looking for here is, not in every case, but in those cases where it's extended, where I'm being asked to expend a fair amount of county funds, it would make sense for me to have a second opinion and say, okay, what is the best thing that we can do here? Because that's really, you're not really given a prescription on what to do. What you're given is a mandate to fix it.
Right.
Okay, and so that's different here.
Fix it or close and condemn.
That's exactly right, that's what I'm saying. So I'm back into a corner here, and what I'm saying is, I need some backup support that is professional, and not always, but professional, that can say, okay, this is what we recommend that you do. Because right now, I don't have any guarantee that if I go in and make those adjustments that I think need to be made, okay, I am not a road and bridge engineer. So I say, okay, we go get a contractor out here and tell the contractor, we want you to fix this.
Fix it.
Fix it. What does that include? Fix it.
Load limit.
Yeah, so what we're asking for here is just the option of being able to go out and get a professional opinion to say, in order for this to be functional and be sustainable, this needs to happen.
The bridge in question, I had to go back to Marva. The plans are from 1986, so it has survived that long. And I would sooner talk to the engineer to fix it and make it last that much longer again, instead of just putting a temporary fix on it.
My concern is this, is if we do this blanket, we're going out for an engineer for these non-text dot spec bridges, it's kind of open-ended. That'll go on for years, which that's not, you almost have to say, hey, we're going out for engineering qualifications on county road, bridge, XYZ, and then what are their bids on those bridges to engineer for us? And then we can approve or not approve that bid on that specific bridge, or we're looking at a county engineer. I mean, that's basically what you're asking for, is a county engineer.
I don't think we have enough to do a panel engineer, do we?
As needed basis is basically what we need to do.
Yeah. It's not, it's
Well, as needed, but then you've got to be under that threshold per project.
Good example is Rocky Creek on County Road 1, the one we looked at, and they wanted us to add concrete or add something to it, but wouldn't tell us how to do it. They just said, fix it.
That's exactly what we're dealing with now.
Bring me 2 loads of concrete.
They'll inspect them, they'll give you a load limit to put up, but when you ask them if they could help you engineer it, they just don't have time.
I would, if I can interject, is this an emergency right now that we have to do this today?
I know. No.
Can we table it?
We can
I'd like to contact Allison Bass to make sure how we're doing it to get,
Okay.
if we need to be a per bridge basis, or we're looking for something.
We don't want it.
That would be
long-term.
good.
No, but what we're doing here is we're doing a request for qualifications, an RFQ, which is not committing us to anything.
Okay.
It's just getting an interest
Somebody
in
to
what's
give-
going on here. Do you have an interest in being a consultant for us? That's really all we're doing. We're not committing and saying, we're gonna sign somebody up, we're gonna pay a certain amount. None of that is in play here. This is just saying, this is an issue, because it is an issue. Right now, I'm having to expend funds again on another bridge that got dropped on me. And I'm like, I don't care if you straighten the road out. Well, we wanna straighten the road out, so you're gonna have to do this and do this and do this. I'm like, wait a second, that's not in my budget. It's not in my budget, but so I have a decision to make. Do I want the bridge to be replaced and be done according to text dot specifications, or do I not? Do I say, no, pass, take it somewhere else, I don't want it? So, me specifically, I didn't know this was gonna be so applicable to me, but it is, but I'm like, wait a second, I've kinda got my chest in a vice now over this, because I'm being told this is what has to happen. And so, I don't have the
That's what I'm saying, you're going out for consulting basically from an engineer, but that's almost like saying, hey, we need a county engineer on our, that we've committed to for a year's time to consult with. Because otherwise it's open-ended, where do we end this? This could be 2 to 5 year process with bridges.
You wanna do it on a year-to-year basis? We could try it for a year and see how it works out.
Because the thing is, like, what happens right now? Okay, so I was told that I have to acquire a right-of-way to straighten out the road. Okay, so the county has to acquire, that's what I was told. And so I'm on my own here. I didn't go ask permission from anybody. I just went through the process to do it, because I was following what I was being told from the Texas Department of Transportation. So I went out and did that. Now I'm finding out there are other issues associated with that. There's gonna be a domino effect, and I'm becoming less comfortable with it because I don't have anybody to consult. I had to go consult an attorney to write up the acquisition agreement, the right of way. I have to go do that. We don't have a county attorney that can do that, or we don't, that I know of. And so I have to go out on my own and hire. It's not a lot of money, but I still have to do it. I have to have backup to do that. I can't create that document. And so I realize now this is continuing to snowball, and I'm getting less and less comfortable with it.
I will say, I want to backtrack, our county attorneys, we have a county attorney and an assistant county attorney, they will write contracts for us and purchase and acquire property, which we've done in certain cases. Other precincts have had, where we had to buy some easement.
Well, I know, but that was through Kyle, and that was not through, and I know they're busy. This is transition time. I don't want to bog them down, so it's easier for me to go, spend $500 and fix it.
The chain of command is, we ask them if they have the time or can do it in a reasonable time, and if not, then you can go outsource it. You've got professional services in your budget to go after certain things you need for your precinct.
Okay.
And then likewise, if you need to consult with an engineer, you've got some budget, I guess, to do that. If you're just asking for, hey, how much is a day of consulting, come out here and look at this project, give me some ideas. But if you're looking at $25,000, $50,000 for an engineered project, now that's a whole nother ballgame that needs to go after bids per project.
That's really not what I'm looking for.
We go out for RFQs, not necessarily bids. RFQs is we're looking for someone who is qualified to do the work. Not every engineer can do a bridge.
Okay. So do you have any problem with them going after RFQs like they're asking for here? You do have a problem with it like that? No. Okay.
And just to state this, 2 years ago, I contacted TxDOT, and they gave me a bridge building engineer in Warden County, and I'm still waiting for his return phone call. They stay busy.
All right. I'm okay, whatever y'all want to do, I'm okay with. I've survived this far. I'll live another day.
Well, I guess it's just going after qualifications, no harm in that per se, because you're not asking, you haven't told them what you need or what you want from them. You're just asking for qualified engineer to present themselves. Correct?
Absolutely. Believe you me, I'm not into spending a lot of money for something that's unnecessary, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure that, it'd be a consultant basis and say, okay, give me some ideas here. I'm not asking you to engineer the project.
That's right. Tell me what I need to do.
And I think it goes back, the sessions I sat in on is the reason we go after engineers and for architects on building projects in public is because the public deserves first class, everything that we do. And so we can't just, the days of us building our own bridges is pretty much gone. I can give you some bad examples of 197 bridge that collapsed back in my day.
I built a bridge 20 years ago, that's not going
Put this way,
nowhere.
don't let county employees put their initials in bridges anymore on concrete. Y'all tell me, I had a motion made by precinct 1, precinct 2, you want to proceed?
What now?
I had a motion made from precinct 1, seconded by precinct 2, to approve advertising request for qualifications for engineering services on Lavaca County bridges that do not meet TxDOT specs on bridge replacements. You want to proceed with a vote on that? Or do you want to wait till we have some more information?
I want more information. I don't want to get somebody and they say, well, I'll charge $300 an hour to come talk. Well, table it.
If we can table this, let me put some on the listserv and ask.
I withdraw that motion.
Ask more questions.
I'll contact Allison and Bass and find
I'll
out
do
the
that.
best way to go
All right.
about this.
So motion to table, item number 29. Have a motion to table?
Yes.
Second by anybody? By 3. Motion made by precinct 1, second by precinct 3 to table item number 29, which was to discuss and approve advertising request for qualifications for engineering services on Lavaca County bridges that do not meet the TxDOT specs on bridge requirements. Any other questions or comments? I'll add that the judge will look into proper procedure on this and see how other counties are proceeding. Fair enough?
Perfect.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, last couple items here. We're going to have a closed session to discuss number 30 before we discuss 30. And again, I learned a lot about agendas. The presiding judge can move around, so I'm going to ask that we move into consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to approve the consent agenda as read, correct? Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. We are in consent. Our microphones will go off after consent, and then we will discuss, having a closed session and discuss item 30. Okay, we are out of consent. The only item we have left is number 30, which is, item number 30 is discuss, make counteroffers, and/or approve revised proposal for property purchase and/or property exchange at 400 North Texana. That's known as the Fur Building over there, formerly owned by Rusty Wallace, with Lavaca County-owned property at 412 North Texana, including but not limited to expanding the annex parking lot, adding a driveway entrance access to Dodge Street, adding a drive-through window at the tax office use, and/or exchanging county-owned real estate at 412 North Texana for property at 400 North Texana, and creating joint parking lots and access agreements with owners of 400 North Texana. Lots to swallow, but what I'm going to need for this court is I'm going to request that we move into exec session to per 551.072 to deliberation regarding real property, and per section 551.0725 deliberation regarding contract negotiation. So those are the two items that I'm going to ask y'all to go into exec session for. Do I hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to move into exec. The time now is 12:41 p.m. And we would hope to be out here by 1 o'clock, hopefully. I don't think this is going to take long, but anyway, we are in exec. Oh, yeah, all those in favor of moving into exec, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. We are in exec session. it's on. We are back out of executive session. That time is 1:06 PM. So I'll write that on my form. Okay, the last thing we have, the only other thing we have to discuss would be item number 30. Is there any other changes we want to make on item number 30 than what we did last time? No. Your motion? Okay. So we have no motions to make on item number 30. We're going to pass on it. Still in play is they've allowed the judge to discuss with them what will and what will not work for the county, and we'll see if we can't come up with something that will work. Other than that, do we have any other business of the court? There's nothing to, I mean, we're just,
Discussion.
we can make a motion to table it or no changes.
No action?
There's no action, we're not taking any action. There's no motion made on 30, so it dies right there. Okay. But it's still in play that they've allowed me to continue to talk with the landowners. Okay. If you'll notice on number 33, I changed the wording on 33 to say, announce next meeting and adjourn. So our next meeting is April 14th, 2025. That is a Monday at 10 a.m. unless we call a special called meeting in between there, which we could. With no other business of the court, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second by precinct 2. Motion made by precinct 3, motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 2 to adjourn. All in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. We are adjourned till April 14th. Thank you.